This is the final arc of Dragon Ball Z. This is the Majin Buu saga, the very final arc of the Dragon Ball Z. A lot of things to cover in this arc, so there's going to be a nice little bit of a long one, quite honestly. Let's get started. It's been about 7 years since the Z Fighters defeated Perfect Cell. With Cell's defeat, peaceful, right? After the Cell's defeat, it's been peaceful. Gohan lack of training starts to factor in. Vegeta still trains, but he doesn't train as seriously because there's no body for him, in his personal opinion, to fight, aka there's no Goku, so there's no point. With repeats turning and things like that, the World Martial Arts Tournament becomes anew. It becomes anew. The World Martial Tournament is ready to attend, and Gohan's like, let's see if we can get some people to attend the World Martial Arts Tournament. It's been so long since anybody competed in there, and that Mr. Satan has just been racking up W's. That man just racking up the W's, man. W's after W's after W. So now, with Gohan trying to get people to compete in the World Martial Arts Tournament for some fun, Goku, who has been dead for about 7 years, he gets a 1 day pass to return to Earth from the afterlife, which makes Vegeta like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Vegeta's happy about doing this, and let's say you got Gohan, Goku, Vegeta, Videl. You'll have Goten and Trunks competing in Goten and Trunks competing in the junior weight division. And I think really one of the cool moments here is that the announcer, he was so freaking happy because he recognized everybody from the past. He's like, oh, he's like, yes, we get to get some real fighters in here. Forget all this weak stuff that's been going on for the past few tournaments. We got some real fighters up in this Mamma Jamma. So he was excited. He was like, yeah, this is what I need. This is what I need in my life. With that said, we enter a brand new villain known as Babidi. Babidi is going around collecting energy sources to awaken a creature known as Majin Buu. Yes, a creature of pure destruction. So during the tournament, Piccolo ended up facing who ended up becoming the Supreme Kai. Piccolo knew he feared him, but he just didn't know what he was fearing. Find out it's the Supreme Kai. The Supreme Kai, for some reason, for Supreme Kai's history, outdated. By the way, he still believed that he still thought that Gohan was the strongest fighter on Earth, was the most powerful in the universe, and be the one to stop Babidi's magic and taking over the world. Of course, seven plus years has passed by. Gohan ain't training. My boy ain't training. My goat ain't training no more. He no longer trains. He can go Super Saiyan. He can still go Super Saiyan. He just don't. He doesn't tap into the Super Saiyan 2 archetype or anything like that. So that's gonna be his downfall right there. So throughout the entire tournament or so, we had Videl competing against one of the former fighters that Mr. Satan actually beat in the finals, who has now returned pure evil with the M on his forehead that stands for Majin. So with this Majin being around, he and his partner is trying to collect energy. When they realize Gohan has a lot of energy during his battle against Vito, I think that's his name, Vito, something like that. Gohan transforming goes into Super Saiyan 2 for the first time in 7 years, and they end up allowing him to absorb his body, absorb his energy, which leads to them going out and finding. They're pretty much going out. They let them do that on purpose. That way they go for Bobbity's and Bobby's ship. When they go do that, they handle some of Bobbity's henchmen. But ultimately, it really didn't matter. Vegeta, who's been waiting patiently for his rematch against Goku, waiting patiently during the BS tournament and all the stuff, waiting patiently for his rematch, he allowed Babidi to take over his mind on purpose. That way he can get back to him being pure evil. And that's what he wanted. He felt like he's been too soft over these 7 years. He just feels like he's no longer he doesn't have that pride of being a Saiyan no more. So he allowed Babidi to take over his brain, which allowed him to now there's a lot of people says that he can always go Super Saiyan 2. I don't know. Maybe he could, but maybe he was holding himself back because of it. I'm not too for sure. But overall, Vegeta ended up adapting into the Super Saiyan 2. Him and Goku are activated Super Saiyan 2. Both of these guys are said to be stronger than Gohan was during his fight against Perfect Cell, because Gohan has lost so much within that time frame. In the battle of this, their battle against one another was able to awaken Majin Buu. Majin Buu makes his debut, and he pretty much just one shots. He pretty much take out the Demon King to borrow like he wasn't around, and he's here. He's definitely here. He's definitely here now. With him being around, Vegeta went ahead and knocked out Goku and went to try to kill Majin Buu himself, giving the ultimate sacrifice of a Saiyan warrior for the first time. That Vegeta decided he was no longer going to be selfish and decided to blow himself up. Sadly, sadly, it didn't mean nothing. It didn't mean nothing at all. Majin Buu, way too powerful, way too powerful, way too powerful. This will lead to Majin Buu destroying things. Him and Babidi goes around just destroying whatever they feel like, whatever they wanted to. Eventually, they Goku revealed Super Saiyan 3 for the very first time. Very first time he showcased Super Saiyan 3, and pretty much made it to where he's like, hey, um, you don't need Babidi around. Why do you have Babidi around for? Babidi just pretty much holding you back. So why not, you know, GG, just get rid of him and you'll be good to go. Which Majin Buu ultimately he did. Babidi will ultimately be killed by Majin Buu, allow Majin Buu to do whatever he wanted to. Eventually, Mr. Satan would befriend Majin Buu. He would befriend Majin Buu. Majin Buu didn't feel as evil as he was. He was just destroying stuff because he thought it was fun to do, which ended up leading to Majin Buu spitting out an evil part of him. An evil part of him came out of his brain, which was called Evil Buu. Now, Evil Boo's around, and Evil Buu and Majin Buu end up having this fight. And at the fight, they end up combining into one being called Super Buu. Now, Super Buu is around. With Super Buu being around, Super Buu is more dangerous than anybody else. A mindless creature that just destroys, even worse than even worse than Majin Buu himself. As that's happening, Goku is training Goten and Trunks to learn the fusion technique. The Gohan is off in the world of the Kais to get stronger. So ultimately, this was this whole entire arc here has been focusing on new developments. Vegeta's no longer around. Goku has a day left on Earth. He can't be around, and we need new fighters to step it up, aka Goten, Trunks, and Gohan. Gohan needs to reclaim his former glory. With them being around and with Majin Buu doing his thing, they have a very small time before Majin Buu end up finding them. You know what I'm saying? Which becomes very difficult to deal with, as you can tell right here. But we're gonna fast forward that a little bit more here. Majin Buu takes him out. Da. We're gonna fast forward. We're gonna fast forward a lot right here. Fast forward majority of this arc because yeah, it's crazy right here. But with the Super Buu coming around, eventually Gotenks is created. Gotenks with Super Saiyan 3, and he fights Super Buu. Well, with his being very cocky and being arrogant versus Super Buu, he ended up wasting time and pretty much he couldn't finish the job. Now, Gotenks is stronger than Super Buu, but being kids and being and being stupid led them to taking that L, pretty much taking that L right there. Eventually, Gohan would make his return. Gohan would make his return, with his new mystic, or you want to call it ultimate form. I call it Mystic Gohan. I think we all kind of do. Mystic or ultimate form of Gohan. And he destroys Super Buu. He destroys him pretty easily. He just beat the crap out of him pretty solid, pretty quickly, pretty easily, with no problems. There was nothing that Super Buu could do against. There was nothing he could do against him. But this will end up leading to Super Buu having that intelligence part. You know what I'm saying? That very intelligent parts that he did get. His intelligence told him if he can absorb Gotenks and Piccolo, he should be strong enough to defeat Gohan. And that's exactly what Buu ended up doing. Buu ended up absorbing both Piccolo and Gotenks, and using Gotenks being a fusion technique. After absorbing those two, he's stronger than Mr. Gohan. He couldn't even touch him. Mr. Gohan couldn't do anything with him. He gets beat down pretty easily. He gets him beat him down pretty easily, and then eventually Super Buu absorbs Gohan. With Gohan being absorbed and no more, there's no hope left. Only thing left now is for the earrings, the portion earrings for Vegeta and Goku. Vegeta was able to get a body with the world pretty much being in trouble. Quite honestly, with the world being in trouble, and there's nowhere to run left. They can't fight Super Buu with Gohan Azor, with Mr. Gohan Azor. Goku and Vegeta did something that we didn't think was even possible, and that was using the portion earrings to fuse together to create Vegito. Vegito, base form Vegito, outshine Super Buu. Then he goes Super Saiyan and absolutely dominates this man. No competition type deal. No competition at all type deal. Eventually, Vegito purposely gets himself eaten by Buu. That way, he can destroy Buu from the inside and free everybody that was inside. Eventually, Buu's um, time also ran out too. That was something that also happened. He knew his body was running out, so he ended up absorbing Gohan in the first place because the fusion stuff roared out, and they needed to do something different. After rescuing everyone from Majin Buu from the inside and they getting spit out, the last transformation for Buu happens to be Kid Buu. Now, his original state, also his most dangerous state, his more psychotic state, Kid Buu is formed. Now, I don't want to confuse nobody. I don't want to confuse nobody when it becomes this, because a lot of people still get this mixed up. A lot of people still get this very confused about the whole Majin Buu thing in the first place. What you don't, shout out to shout out to this person for the fan edit and stuff. Shout out to him. Shout out to him. Shout out to the channel. Shout out to the channel. I don't want to confuse anybody. Goku and them refuse to fusion again. Not because they needed to, but Kid Buu is the original form of Majin Buu in general. He had went around when he first appeared on the Supreme Kai's universes. Kid Buu absorbed all the Kais, and he took on the forms of every single Kai. And the last Kai that he stole, last screen he absorbed was the big fat Kai, and that's how we got Fat Buu. And he was still evil, but not Kid Buu evil. Kid Buu is the original form, but he's also not the strongest form. He's not the strongest form of the Boos. I'm gonna let y'all know that he's not the strongest. Y'all can argue all you want to, argue with a wall. He is not the strongest version of Buu. He is the original version. He's the most dangerous. It's because he's just a mindless killer. He doesn't think. He just destroys stuff. That's why they say he was so dangerous, because that's all he did. And that's the reason why Goku felt comfortable fighting him in Super Saiyan 3. And the reason why he didn't win this battle is because Super Saiyan 3 was massively draining him. He couldn't do nothing about it. He was getting massively drained throughout the entire fight. That's the reason why it took so long to finally defeat him. But eventually, it lead to Goku creating the Spirit Bomb and using the Spirit Bomb gathered from the entire universe to destroy Majin Buu, but also made a wish. The wish for he wanted Buu to come back reincarnated as a good person. That way he can fight him again. Which aftermath laying on to the very end, which happens to be a human named Oob, post everything happening and another tournament going on. Oob entered the tournament, Goku knowing that it was Majin Buu. He knew it was Buu reincarnated, which leads to Goku going out to train him. He will leave everybody behind and he will go and train Oob to be the next great fighter. He wanted to make sure that power was used for good because he made that wish. That is the Dragon Ball Z Buu Saga. So a lot of things happen. A lot of things happen in the set arc. This is a crazy arc. I'm not gonna lie. I might have to go ahead and stop that for y'all. I'm sorry. I know. A lot of things happen in this arc. A lot of things that happened that was very interesting. The idea that Vegeta sacrifices himself, thinking he can go where he was going to go in the afterlife once he finally redeemed himself as a fighter, and sacrificing himself for the greater good for his family. Fantastic, perfect ending to Vegeta's arc. Outside of and then coming back with a new body to help Goku fight against Majin Buu because that was the last warrior they can actually turn to. Very interesting, fantastic work. Gohan lacking in his training was heavily implied throughout this entire arc, that his training slacking off and stuff, and then his overgrowing, his him being so cocky with his powers, thinking he can just go 1v1 with Majin Buu with no problem instead of just ending the fight. Very similar to what happens in into the Cell arc, to where he fights Cell in his absolute most powerful form, but took so long to win the fight that ended up leading to Cell blowing up the planet and coming back even stronger. So very, very similar here, to where this time he was absorbed. I mean, he got beaten down and got absorbed because of it. The next generation was highlighted heavily. Goten and Trunks heavily played in this. And so y'all know how irritated it is for me to watch Dragon Ball Super when here in Dragon Ball Z in this arc they push forward for that new generation. And then at the very end you had Oob coming back and Goku's like, I'm taking him and I'm going to train with him. Kind of crazy because he didn't get to train with Goten, but he really goes train with this orphan. Crazy work. Crazy work. The all forms of Majin Buu serve different purposes. You had the Fat Buu, or you want to call him Buu. You can call him Buu. Buu, despite being a monster, kid-like. So he was a little bit more easier to handle, a little bit more easier to trick him in a little bit, just a little bit. Then you had the evil Buu, who was there for just a cool couple minutes just to fuse with Fat Buu to create Super Buu. Super Buu showcased a lot more intelligence, that he can speak really well and understanding everything. And then his intelligence to where he can absorb Piccolo and then absorb Gotenks and then absorbing Gohan to go toe to toe with the stronger his opponents got, the more he wanted to get more powerful. He stopped hunting for destruction and wanted to become more powerful than anybody alive. And that's what he did. But then showcasing the fusion techniques of the Gotenks, and then Vegito popping in to showcase that we can get stronger by learning. That Goku has not just been slacking off; he's been training training and learning new things in the afterlife, which is always great. Showcasing the battle between Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan 3 has also been very fantastic to watch. Man, fantastic. Overall, great arc. I like this arc. I still I still question whether or not this arc needed to be made. But for the future of the series, clearly it was made perfectly. Shout out to the child in the background. I do apologize. It is what it is. It's time for night times, and she's doing whatever she wants to. And now she's coming in here, so I do apologize. But overall, this was a fantastic arc. I definitely enjoyed it for what it was, and a good arc, even though I still question whether or not it was need to be made. I guess so, to push the new generation and to kind of just like it's pretty much the write off that they was wanting. Outside of the Cell arc, that was kind of a write off for Goku, and that was the end of that. And then you had to come through with this one to make a write off for the Dragon Ball Z in general. I think Dragon Ball Z had a nice ending here. Everyone's redeemed. No, everything is just ended right there. Dragon Ball could have just ended, and I think would have been okay. I think we would have been okay, but we end up getting two more series after this, which I will be going over. But that is the Dragon Ball Z. That is the Dragon Ball Z arcs. I will be going over to, I think, Dragon Ball Super next, and then GT next. I'm not too for sure if I'm gonna become a Daima, because Daima is it's weird. It's very weird. I'm gonna say this: Daima, GT, and Super all happens post Majin Buu arc. Everything comes after Majin Buu, but Daima is not canon to Super. Diamond is its own thing. GT is not canon to Super. It's its own thing. And then Super is its own. So it's three different continuations. So it's kind of, I don't know how I want to tackle Daima if I do, because to me, personally, to me, we'll talk about it in a different video. We'll talk about it in a different video with Daima. But I think I'm gonna tackle Dragon Ball Super next. I think, or I might tackle GT. I'm not too sure. If there's a preference, let me know in the comment section which one should I tackle first, GT first or Super first. Let me know. This was your Dragon Ball Z arcs. I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be talking more about Dragon Ball Z stuff for a while, for a little bit until I get to the reviewing of GT or Super. Until then, I'll see y'all soon.